They laughed when I said I was opening a clinic, mocked me, called me the broke dreamer who would never make it. But now, after years of silent struggle, they're lining up at my door, demanding a share they never earned. Before I continue, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this story so more people can see how betrayal can turn into the sweetest revenge. I'm Flora, the youngest in my family, and for years I was treated like a failure. My brother Jake called me the charity case, and my Aunt Linda never missed a chance to remind everyone that I couldn't even afford rent at one point. They laughed when I worked double shifts as a nurse, skipped holidays, and lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment while saving every dollar. None of them knew I was secretly working toward my medical license, planning every step to build something of my own. Fast forward, my clinic is not just surviving, it's thriving. Patients trust me, my staff respects me, and the income? Let's just say it's way beyond anything my family ever expected from the broke dreamer. But here's the twist: suddenly, the same people who mocked me show up with fake smiles, acting like they've supported me from day one. Jake even suggested that since we're family, he should be listed as a partner. Without paying a single dime. I wanted to laugh in his face, but I stayed calm, because deep down, I knew something they didn't. What I was about to reveal would flip the entire family's power dynamic upside down. I sat at the long oak table in my mother's dining room, the same place where I'd once been humiliated for bringing store-brand soda to Thanksgiving because I couldn't afford the fancy kind. Now, the air was thick with fake smiles and greedy eyes. Jake leaned back in his chair like a king, tapping the table with his gold watch flashing. "Flora, you should be grateful," he said smugly. "If we put our names on the clinic, people will trust it more. Family names carry weight, you know. And of course, you'll handle the boring work. We'll just help with the image." My Aunt Linda smirked and added, "Yes, honey, no one will believe you pulled this off alone. A little family support will go a long way. We don't want people thinking your clinic is small." Their words cut deep, but not because I felt powerless, because they had no idea what was coming. I took a slow sip of water, hiding the smile tugging at my lips. If only they knew how many late nights I'd spent studying until my eyes burned, how many times I skipped meals to save money, how many loans I paid off one painful dollar at a time. They weren't family when I was crying on the bathroom floor wondering if I'd ever pass my licensing exam. They weren't family when I worked holidays while they partied. They only showed up now, because they smelled money. I looked around the table, at the same relatives who once said, "Flora won't make it past 30 without begging us for help." And now here they were, begging me in disguise. My cousin Tara leaned forward, voice dripping with sugar but eyes sharp with envy. "Flora, we don't want much, just, say, 30% of the clinic's profits. That's nothing for you now, right? After all, family sticks together." The words "family sticks together" almost made me choke with laughter. These were the same people who once turned me away when I needed $50 to cover my rent. I finally set my glass down and spoke softly, almost sweetly, but every word was laced with steel. "It's funny," I said, "how family sticks together only when there's money on the table. Where was this family when I was patching my shoes with tape? Where was this family when I couldn't afford bus fare to the hospital where I worked 12-hour shifts?" Their smirks faltered, but Jake quickly recovered, waving a dismissive hand. "Don't be dramatic, Flora. You should thank us. We're offering to make you look more legitimate. Without us, you're just another nurse who got lucky." That line hit me like a punch, not because it was true, but because it revealed the truth about them. They would never see me as the woman who built a thriving clinic from scratch. They would never respect the years of sweat and sacrifice. They only saw me as their ticket. And right then, something inside me shifted. I realized I wasn't just defending myself, I was about to flip the entire script. I leaned forward, lowering my voice so they had to lean in too. "You think I need your names to look legitimate? You think I built all this just to hand it over to the same people who laughed at me? If that's what you think..." I paused, letting the silence cut through the room like a blade. "Then you're about to be very, very surprised." The table fell silent, every pair of eyes glued on me, waiting. What they didn't know was that in my bag sat a folder, proof of something that would shake the ground under their feet and silence every insult they had ever thrown at me. I slowly unzipped my leather bag, the faint sound cutting through the silence like a knife. My family leaned closer, curiosity burning in their eyes. Jake smirked, thinking I was about to pull out documents that would make him a co-owner. Aunt Linda even whispered, "Finally, she's coming to her senses." But the moment I placed the thick folder on the table, their confidence started to crack. I flipped it open. Page after page of polished contracts, licenses, and bank statements. "This," I said firmly, "is proof that not only did I build this clinic alone, but it's now one of the fastest growing private practices in the state. Last quarter alone, revenue crossed 7 figures. Every supplier, every investor, every partner, signed under my name. Not a single penny, not a single favor from this family." Jake's jaw tightened. He tried to laugh it off. "Numbers on paper don't mean anything. You're exaggerating." But I was ready. I pulled out glossy photos, my clinic packed with patients, my staff lined up proudly in branded coats. Even a local newspaper article featuring me as the young doctor who beat all odds. I laid each one down like playing cards. And with every photo, their faces paled. Then came the real bomb. I slid out the final paper, a property deed. "And just so you know," I said, my voice steady, "the building isn't rented. I bought it outright. Every brick, every wall, it's mine." The room went dead silent. My mother covered her mouth in shock, and for the first time in years, I saw her eyes soften with pride. "But Jake?" He slammed his fist on the table, his mask of fake charm shattering. "This isn't fair," he barked. "You can't cut us out like this. We're family." That word, family, hung in the air like poison. I leaned back, finally letting my smile show. "Family? When I begged for help, you mocked me. When I cried from exhaustion, you ignored me. Now that I've made it, you want a share? No. You don't get to reap what you never sowed." Linda's face twisted with rage. "You'll regret this, Flora. You think you're untouchable? Money doesn't last forever. Sooner or later, you'll come crawling back to us." I didn't flinch. Instead, I leaned forward and whispered, "The only crawling happening tonight is your pride, falling flat on the floor." Gasps erupted around the table. And just as I thought the storm had settled, Tara, my cousin who had stayed quiet most of the night, spoke up. Her words were soft, but they sliced sharper than any insult. "What if," she said carefully, "you're not the only one in this room with a secret?" The entire table turned to her, and I felt my stomach drop. Tara's words landed like a grenade. Everyone froze, their greedy plans momentarily forgotten. She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, with a smug little smile that didn't match the innocent cousin I remembered from childhood. My heart pounded, but I kept my face calm. "And what secret would that be, Tara?" I asked, my voice steady. She tapped her manicured nails on the table. "Oh, nothing too dramatic. Just the fact that I've been working with someone very close to you. Someone who thinks you shouldn't be the only one holding all the power." Jake's head snapped toward her. "What the hell are you talking about?" he demanded, but Tara ignored him. Her eyes were locked on mine, glittering with satisfaction. That's when she pulled out her phone and placed it on the table. One swipe of her screen, and a series of messages lit up, a conversation with one of my own employees. The texts were clear as day: plans to sabotage clinic operations, leak patient records, and ruin my reputation, unless I gave up control. My blood went cold. This wasn't just family greed anymore. This was a direct threat to everything I had built. My mother gasped. "Tara, how could you?" But Tara only shrugged. "Don't act so shocked. Flora isn't the only one who knows how to play the long game." While she was busy hiding her success, I was making sure she wouldn't stay on top for long. "You think patients will trust her after they find out their private records are in danger?" Linda actually laughed, clapping her hands once. "Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant." She turned to me, her smile dripping with venom. "Looks like you're not as untouchable as you thought, dear." But instead of panicking, I felt something inside me harden. They wanted a war? Fine. I had fought through poverty, sleepless nights, rejection, and humiliation to build my clinic. I wasn't about to let a snake like Tara tear it down. I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. "You really think you're holding the cards, don't you? But here's the problem: while you were busy plotting, I was preparing for snakes like you. Every staff member signs a strict confidentiality contract. Breaking it isn't just a betrayal, it's a felony." I let the word felony hang in the air. "So those texts you're flaunting? They don't scare me. They incriminate you." Tara's smirk faltered for the first time. She tried to cover it with a laugh. "You're bluffing." But I wasn't. I reached into my bag again and pulled out another folder, this one full of signed contracts, legal clauses highlighted in bright yellow. Try me, I said. Expose those records, and you'll be the one answering to a judge, not me. The tension in the room was suffocating. Jake looked furious, Linda's confidence wavered. And Tara sat there with her smile crumbling, realizing she wasn't as clever as she thought. But just when I thought I had silenced them all, Jake suddenly stood up, slammed his chair back, and shouted, "Enough of this. You think you're better than us, Flora? You think you can humiliate us and walk away?" His face twisted with rage as he reached into his coat pocket. The room gasped. My pulse spiked. Because whatever Jake was about to pull out, it wasn't just another piece of paper. Jake's hand shot into his coat pocket, and for a split second, the entire room froze. My heart pounded, until I saw what he pulled out. Not a weapon, but a crumpled envelope. He slammed it on the table. "You think you're the only one with proof? This shows Dad left me in charge of family assets. If you don't give us a cut, I'll make sure you're dragged down with us." I took the envelope calmly, opened it, and almost laughed. The so-called legal document was nothing more than an outdated will, years before Dad passed, completely invalid. "Nice try, Jake," I said, tossing it back. "But the law doesn't work on your delusions." His face burned red. Linda and Tara's jaws dropped, and the entire room went silent as I stood. "You tried to shame me, steal from me, even destroy me. But tonight, you've only proven one thing: you're nothing without me. And from this moment on, you're cut out. Completely." I walked out, folder in hand, my mother's proud eyes following me while the rest of them sat stunned in their own bitterness. For years, I was the underdog, the broke dreamer they laughed at. But tonight, I walked out not just as Flora, the girl they underestimated, but as Flora, the woman who built everything from nothing, and made them regret underestimating me forever.